Good evening. It is getting dark, it's about 6 o'clock. I've been out here for probably the last hour and a half, and you wouldn't know it because the progress has been extremely limited. I've kind of remembered why it was I wanted somebody else to come and do it. Bodywork is that, annoying combination of being actually quite a skilled job and yet being quite dull. I've been basically knocking back all the filler I put in key places. In some areas I've gone through, which is quite annoying because then I have to put more filler back on it. Some of it looks alright, some of it looks pretty crap, but we're clutching at straws here. This looks really nice. There's a slight ripple in it there. This is a bit lumpier than I would have wished, but that all gets hidden by a seal, so I'm just going to carry on. I'm going to be concentrating on this area most, I think, and then I'll do the engine bay in the front afterwards. I've done as much sanding as I think I need to of the filler that I had already put on. I could go over it again with normal filler, but what I'm going to apply, excuse me, while I sort my light and everything out, is a stuff called Dolphin Glaze. It's called ultra fine finishing filler, and what you notice is it's like really thin. It doesn't help if you drop it, but yeah, real thin, so it's pinhole resistant. It should sink into imperfections nicely and hopefully go in pretty well where I've got some weird curved shapes, and particularly in here where I've ground it smooth but there are tiny imperfections. I'm hoping I can like lay this along there and then just smooth it out with my finger. That's my plan. Whether it'll work like that I really don't know, but we shall find out. I do believe I might have just had some pretty jammy success. Basically that stuff is awesome. If you put a little bit of hardener in, I think it would be even better. Basically I did the pea and golf ball and it went off quite quickly, but before it went off it was actually self-leveling. So here where I haven't been too careful with the spatula, it was actually sitting down flat, which was really cool. It definitely fills up gaps easily, and best of all, that whole tray area I basically got a dollop and just slapped it with my finger and then smoothed it out. So you can see there's some grooves in it, but it's actually sat down a lot better than I thought it would do. So yeah, really happy with that. So hopefully I'll come back tomorrow and I shouldn't have too much more sanding to do, and then I can prime that bit and then concentrate on the engine bay proper. So while that dolphin's going off, I'll carry on with the prep in the engine bay. Got that filler down there to sand off, and I'm going to basically prep all of that and work out where else I need to put filler in, and then I might put a bit of that conventional filler in tonight. It's actually 1st of March today, and it's squeaky bum time because this needs to be driven to Birmingham on the 21st ideally. If I don't get it ready by then, I do have a fallback plan, which is to put it on a trailer, but I really don't want to do that. I kind of want this done and driving, so yeah, that is a massive amount of work to do considering I've got a job. So it's only evenings and weekends, and even weekends are busy now, so doing other stuff. So yeah, fingers crossed I'll get it. Okay, I've done a bit more of conventional filler to fill in a couple of dents down here and a tiny bit more in there. I would like to have got some etch primer on this at the least tonight because there's some areas of bare metal, but realistically it's cold, I'm tired and can't be bothered. The weather forecast this week isn't looking great, so I really hope I don't come back to a whole load of flash rusting, but that's just the way it's going to be at the moment with working outdoors. So yeah, not really much in terms of dramatic progress, but it is progress nonetheless, and it all needed to be done. So that's just what it's like with some of these projects. Opening with a panning shot. Morning everyone. It's kind of overcast, wet, which is not good because last night I sanded quite a lot of that back to bare metal, so I haven't opened it up yet, but I'm expecting some flash rust or similar. My plan is not to be here for too long, but just to rub down some of that Dolphin filler I put in yesterday and then protect the bare metal areas so that if it gets really wet it won't get too bad. I've got stuff to do today, so although it's a nice, well, it's not nice, but you know, it's a daylight, I won't get an opportunity to do much on this. I've unveiled the car, no rust, which is good. So I shall carry on prepping and probably won't video much today because it's dull as anything. Thought I'd show you the Dolphin again, just so you get an idea of how runny it is. So that's without any hardener in it. And it's already sliding down there. And then when you stir it up, it is like, I don't know, really thick paint. So yeah, quite different to the filler I've used before, but it seems to be really good stuff for going in fine cracks, pinholes, and you know, between semi-open seams. So I'm going to mix another load up and just go over some of the areas that I've gone a bit thin on or just forgot about last time. So close and yet so far. This is taking forever. Every time you think you've sanded out an imperfection, you find more, and that's just with the naked eye. God knows what it would have looked like with blue paint on top. I'm just doing it piece by piece, slowly getting there, but it's a real time killer and quite annoying. Well, you're probably bored of watching me video lack of progress, but I guess it adds the reality of doing this sort of stuff. It's taken forever, most of the morning, to achieve very little, or what feels like very little. It is getting smoother. You can rub your hands over it and it sort of feels nice now. I had a bit of a fail because I was trying to degrease all of this so I could shoot some etch primer, but I picked up the wrong jar and I poured thinners on my paintwork instead of etch primer, so that's now ruining my filler and taking off all the grey paint that I had put on there previously. Very annoying. Because of that, I don't really have any option other than to call it a day and let all that thinners evaporate off. Frustrating, a bit of a boring video no doubt, but it is what it is. It's Sunday afternoon and I've come over just to check on the car and its covers because we've got a storm coming. In fact, the storm is kind of, you wouldn't say it's hit yet, but it's coming tonight, and it's a good thing I did come out because the wind has blown all my covers off. So I'm also going to take out bits and pieces in here that I can begin to paint, like the fans and things. So I'm going to have a sort through and just take stuff inside that I know I need to clean up ready for painting. Okay, the car is safely covered up. It's a bit soggy, which is a shame, but never mind, it's not the end of the world. These are all the bits that I need to prepare ready for going back in the engine bay. There's an annoyingly large amount of them as well, and a lot of it is kind of scruffy, so it all wants stripping apart, derusting, and then painting black again. Some of it I'll do in the Jotun, other stuff I'll do in black enamel aerosol. So I need to clean everything up, separate it out into two groups for different types of paint, and then crack on with it. Just been testing the rad fans with a power probe, and surprisingly, well, I don't know whether it's surprising or not, but they're both working really nice. Even the bearings sound good, so well, they should. All this should need is basically the frames cleaning up. This one has lost its circlip retainer, so we'll have to find another one to go on there. That one looks okay, it's just a bit rusty, so I'm going to take those apart and then clean all the brackets up. Well, that's the fans and frame broken down about as far as I can get them. The circlip things, I've got both of those off, but the shaft from the motor has actually seized inside the fans. I've given them WD-40 and gentle persuasion with the hammer, but they're not coming off. So rather than risk knackering them, I'm just going to clean up the frame as best I can with the fan blades still attached to the motors and the motors still attached to the frame. So that shouldn't be difficult. It's just, it would be nice to have them all apart really. So I'm going to take these bits outside now into the rain, get the wire brush out and give them a good going over. The wind is really pissing me off now. That's the third time I've been out to put this up. So yeah, me and Patricia really think I'm going to get some pallets and chuck them on the car to keep this on. It's the evening after the storm. These waterproof covers are not waterproof. After my disaster with the filling, I'm actually quite happy. I mean, some of it feels really nice, so I'm quite encouraged by that. Still plenty more work to do, and I'm not going to do any more filling and painting outside tonight because it's really cold, so I'm going to go back inside and carry on prepping the bits that I've removed, ready to go back in here. This is the result of many hours of cleaning and scrubbing. This is just the first box of parts that I've cleaned up. I haven't gone crazy because all of this is kind of hidden away, especially stuff like this. These are the horn brackets, that's the bumper irons, so are they. That's the mounting for the oil cooler. Rad fans I couldn't actually separate. That's the rad fan shroud, random cooling pipe and battery holder, and one of the panels which goes inside the car in the engine bay. The front side needs to look relatively nice. Both of those will be done with enamel spray. The rest will be epoxied in black. Well, that's been about 2 hours worth of painting stuff. Unbelievably time consuming, but probably worth it. The bits that I needed to aerosol paint I haven't done yet because I've run out of time. I've got to go home now. But yeah, all of the rest of this is done. And I'll come in early tomorrow morning and clear it all up before anyone else gets back to work.